Hello everyone, 안녕하세요. This is Ava from Glow with Ava and welcome to my channel today. If you guys follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you may be familiar with this mic that I have. I thought it'd be fun to bring this back to this video as we discuss all of the BB creams and CC creams that I currently have in my collection and ranking them. So I've never done a ranking video on my page before, but I've been seeing some other YouTubers do this and I thought it was very entertaining, so much more fun to kind of like discuss it in that way than to just sit and like give a review, you know? So I'm gonna try this. Hopefully it works out, and if you guys enjoy this kind of videos and want me to do more of the ranking videos in my future videos with different categories, please leave a comment below. And with that, we are going to be ranking the 11 BB cream and CC creams that I currently have in my collection. And I know I've done a previous video on my top 5 BB and CC creams last year, and this is going to be kind of an extension of that video, but discussing a lot more and giving a true ranking. As for ranking systems, I have 7 rankings, and this is completely inspired by YouTuber Jamie Page. I saw her video on rankings and I thought it was ingenious, and honestly the categories that she did was spot on. The only thing I changed was one of the categories, but I am totally copying her idea here. So the category and rankings are as follows. First is Holy Grail, aka I cannot imagine my life without this, and I'm going to be using this for many years to come. Second, indie rotation, so they may not be Holy Grail status, but it's still something that I reach for on a daily basis. Third is good, not amazing, so a lot more people may like it. I think it's great to use, but it's not something that is like holy shit, I love it. Fourth is used to use it all the time, but not really anymore. We kind of fell out of love with it, but it's still a pretty good product. 5 is a great bang for your buck. This is something new that I added because I do have a lot younger audience, so I want to tell you guys some of the best deals out there for what you pay for. Number 6 is not for everyone. So I didn't really like it, or I liked it, may not be for you, or I didn't like it but maybe for you, depending on the skin type, the texture that you like, etc. And number 7 is the avoid category. So I typically don't like giving like the shittiest review, but it's really something that didn't work for me and I think won't really work for you either, then that's going in the avoid category. All right, so those are the 7 ranking systems that I have, and today we are going to be only talking about the true BB CC creams that are labeled. I know it's a very confusing category because there's BB creams, skin tints, tinted moisturizers, all of that, but for the ease of categorization, anything that actually has a BB cream on it, that is what we're discussing. And for an overview of what BB cream and CC creams are, I'm going to have it in my previous videos, but basically BB stands for Beauty Balm or Blemish Balm. It is something that's typically higher coverage and has SPF, so it feels like a foundation because it is able to hide away your blemishes but still has some skincare benefits to the cream. CC cream is standing for color correct, so it typically helps a lot more with redness, discoloration, and other skin problems. Also has a very high SPF in it, and typically has a lower coverage, but you know what, with these days I've seen the full range of really heavy coverage as well. So with that, let's begin our ranking. It's gonna be fun, guys. All right, the first one is going to be the Dr. Jart BB Beauty Balm Cream. So I want to talk about this first because they are the one company that was one of the first pioneers to really bring the BB creams into the US. BB creams and CC creams have been around in Korea for decades now, but I think it's a newer concept in the US, and I think especially in the last 2 to 3 years, it's something that a lot of people are kind of leaning towards and understanding the concept of. So I want to give Dr. Jart the credit of, you know, bringing that concept here. With this one, I believe they've gone through a few reformulations of this. And I'm gonna put this under good but not amazing, but also kind of under the category of used to use it all the time but not really anymore. This is one of the first BB creams that I personally purchased in Korea way back in the day and have been using it. And this one, I just feel like the coverage isn't that high, especially on days when I am looking for a little bit more. However, I'm really impressed by the skincare ingredients that are in this. It's especially great for those who do have blemish prone skin and sensitive skin. So because the coverage isn't like that high or anything, and I want a little bit more sunscreen protection with this, the best way that I found to use this product is actually mixing it with my mineral sunscreens, especially on days when my skin is a little bit more sensitive, but I do want a little bit more color. So on days when my skin is red sensitive, I don't really like going in with any kind of foundation, but when I do want a little bit more, that's when I mix it with this one. So with that, good, but not like holy grail status, something that I'm reaching for every day. Next one is the Clay Cosmetics CCC cream. So this stands for Color Correct and Change Cream. It's a new, more innovative technology from the ones we've talked about before. You guys have heard me talk about this nonstop in my channel, so I'm going to keep it short, but this basically goes into holy grail, holy grail, holy grail status. Like, I truly cannot imagine my life without this one. And I think when I first tested this out, it was like, oh, this is weird. It's a white cream. But what it does is the white cream, as you blend it in, it slowly, gradually adjusts to the skin tone of your skin and gives the most natural, beautiful, radiant finish. And in terms of the natural glow that you get, on the glow scale that we have, I'm giving this like a 9.1 out of 10 because it really gives you that high shine glow, but without making it look like you are super shiny or oily. And honestly, even if it is that glowy, I feel like I don't have to go in with a lot of powder with this one either. This one is SPF 50, PA+++, so really high coverage. I like this, but still, with all of the BB and CC creams I'm discussing today, please do not replace this with your regular SPF, even if it is SPF 50. Go on with your SPF and then go on with one of these creams. So with that, I'm not going to talk enough about it. This one is truly one of the best out there. Next is Dermablend CC cream. So this is continuous correction full coverage CC cream, and when this first came out in the market, I've been hearing a lot of people like kind of posting about it, so I did have pretty high expectations for this, but it just really didn't work out for me. I really wanted to like it, but it's almost to the point where I'm gonna have to put this in the avoid category. Not because it's like a horrendous product. I truly think some people may like this, but the reason I'm putting this in the avoid category is because it is a little, first of all, too high coverage for me. It almost feels like a concealer in a way, where at that point, if I want something that high coverage, I'm just gonna use a concealer rather than use this kind of like all over my face. And the biggest test is, you know, like even if you want a very high coverage and you use this, at the end of the day, this really dries out my skin and feels very cakey. So some of the other BB creams here, they do have very high coverage, but it still doesn't feel heavy on the skin, or it doesn't look like it's you have like a ton of makeup on. This one kind of like feels like you do have a lot of makeup on, and even the texture, this like just like emphasizes a lot of the pores and textures that I already have, especially after it's worn for a few hours. When I'm looking for foundations or BB creams, I really want something that doesn't oxidize and wears well, and at the end of the day, it's not emphasizing my texture a lot more than it already is, but something that makes it look a little bit more natural and lived in, and this really didn't do any of that. So while I do like the concept of it, it's not going to be a yes for me. Next we have the L'Oreal BB cream. So this one is very similar to the Clay Cosmetics in terms of the texture, how it applies. It does have a very soft satin semi-matte finish, which I love. And with this one, I'm gonna have to put it in the best bang for your buck. This typically retails for around $10, but the other day I found it on sale on Amazon for literally $5. That's a steal, and I know they go on sale like this pretty often. And with this one, I feel like it's one of the best drugstore BB CC creams out there. I've tested a few over the years and nothing really lived up to the standards, even for its price point. But if you are going to buy a drugstore one, buy this one. This one is the Magic Skin Beautifier in fair shade. They also have different versions, but the one that I really like is also the green version. I just don't have it with me right now, but if you do have more red skin and sensitive skin, try the green one that also color corrects. This one, when you apply it, it's similar to the clay one because it comes out in a white cream, but as you blend it, it adjusts to your skin tone and gives a very nice soft finish. It really doesn't oxidize during the day either. It kind of stays put to your skin. So that's like the one thing that I love the most. And I do love how hydrating this is because even if it gives a slightly semi-matte finish, I still like the very like plump hyaluronic acid feeling that I get when I apply this, and that does last throughout the day. So out of all the ones, this one's the cheapest, and I really think it is worth every single penny. Next, we have the Arborian BB cream. I've already talked about this in my top 5 BB and CC creams video last year, and because of that, you guys know it. It's going into Holy Grail status. This one is different than the other Holy Grail that I have, Clay Cosmetics. Extremely very different finish, different texture. So it really depends on what kind of texture you're going for. But I feel like the skincare ingredients in this is slightly better. It does have ginseng extract to really give you that plump kind of look with this one. The texture is completely different because I would describe this more as like a souffle texture that completely emulsify and melts into your skin to give a very soft velvety finish. Out of all the ones I'm discussing today, there's nothing that has a texture like this one that gives a soft velvety finish. The only downside of this one is that it is SPF 20, so it's the lowest out of the ones I'm discussing, but still, once again, this is not to replace your sunscreen. And the description of this packaging is that it gives you a baby skin effect, and that's completely true because of the souffle-like texture. It is able to blur out your imperfections. You guys probably won't really get what I'm talking about until you actually try this product for yourself, but I'm going to show you guys how this applies to the best knowledge I can. But honestly, in terms of describing it, something that really like blurs everything out, that's the texture that you are going to get with this one. And I mentioned this before as well, but the Pink Perfect cream is the perfect way to apply this underneath this Arborian BB cream to get a really nice, like perfect baby finish, because this one also has a little bit of that like blurring effect. And then if you top this one off, you're going to have like a filter on your face. No more for Instagram filters, because this is going to completely give you that soft skin finish. Next, we have another Dr. Jart product, and this is the Pore one. So I've talked about this actually in my Instagram stories pretty recently as well. And this one is once again SPF 50, great SPF coverage and extremely high coverage. However, I'm just gonna have to put this in a not for everyone category. I do love it, but not something that I reach out for every day. It's only for days when I do feel like I have more accentuated pores. I want more high coverage. That's when I'll go in with this. And I like this for like hotter summer days because of the lasting power that I get even with a lot of heat and sweat. But the best way to apply this product is not with your fingers, but because it does have a slightly more like a thicker texture. Best way I found to apply this is to put it on your face and then wet a beauty blender or like a miracle sponge, something that has more of that memory foam technology, and then blend it out. If you do it that way, the water or the liquid that is in the beauty blender is able to kind of soften the texture out, and it will give you a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful finish. However, for people who do have a little bit more dry skin, this may not be for you, because I feel like this can be slightly drying. But if you want something that clearly just like hides away your imperfections, and especially the pore area, this one is going to be for you. And that's exactly why the product name is called Pore. Okay, next one is my beloved Misha BB cream. I feel like you guys have probably seen this everywhere as well. This one is going to be in the category you used to use it all the time, but not really anymore. So this one is a very popular BB cream for how affordable it is. This is also around the $10 range, and it's SPF 42 with 4 PA pluses. So in terms of the coverage, it's great. This one also is most similar to the Arborian in the fact that it does have slightly more of like satin moussey kind of finish, but it does blur out your imperfections in a similar way that the Arborian does too. However, the only downside of this one is that the wear power is not that great, and that's me as a dry skin person saying this. I feel like for people with oily skin, this may just kind of like drip on, especially if you wear it in the summer. Definitely need to go in with a little bit more powder. However, if you do have extremely dry skin, then blending this out with your fingers still gives you a beautiful finish. Don't get me wrong, and that's why I've used this for so long, and that's why this is also a popular product. But I just feel like for what I'm looking for right now, I found a better options for me that lasts longer, still gives you that, you know, baby skin finish. And this one, just I feel like I just have to keep layering on more powders to make it stay on for longer. So still, if you're looking for an affordable product, then this is still a great option if you do have slightly more dry or combination skin tone. Next we have the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I'm not going to bore you with this review. I've talked about this before. Thousands of other people on the internet have talked about this. I think this is going to be in between my holy grail in the rotation category. Okay, I'm very, very torn, guys, because if you asked me like 2-3 years ago, this one definitely would have been in the holy grail status, but I know I can't live without this. Actually, I can. But at the same time, it's in my rotation, so it's gonna be right in between holy grail and in the rotation, just because I'm not looking and reaching out for something that is as high coverage as this one on a daily basis, right? I want something that my skin, this one that my skin can still breathe in, but for my life and like stuff right now, I really don't need a full coverage. And if I do want something that is more high coverage, I will typically go in with like a Clay Cosmetics or even like the Dr. Jart with light coverage, and then spot to correct my imperfections with a concealer. However, with that said, if I had to go to an event and definitely want something that, you know, still is able to hide my blemishes, then I'm definitely going in with this one. But for on days when I do want more of that foundation feeling, I love this one. I know we're talking about BB creams, but this is IT Cosmetics foundation, and this is called Your Skin But Better. And I have to say, I don't know, I just feel like I like this foundation. I reach for this a lot more than the CC cream lately. Maybe I'm going through a phase, but these two together, I'm going to put it into the holy grail status. I love this foundation. I love both the CC cream. So that's my review. Okay, we have a couple more to go, guys. This is the Bare Minerals Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream with SPF 30. So this one isn't actually like a true BB cream, so I was thinking of should I include in this one or not, but I just decided to include it because of how much I love this. This is definitely in the rotation. It's the newest product I've tried out of all the products I'm discussing today in 2021, but the fact that I keep reaching for this is enough for me to include it in this video. So it does have a tint. It's almost like, it's not a tinted SPF in a way because it's too low for me to consider it an SPF with its SPF 30. However, this one is more of a mousse than a gel cream. I know it says it's a gel cream, but it's definitely more of like the moussey texture that gives you a really perfect, nice complexion. So if you're a complexion girl like me, you're going to love this one. And speaking more of the complexion, in order to get the perfect finish, I actually found this to be best worn with a brush, with a makeup brush blended out instead of just your fingers. I don't know what it is, but maybe with like the moussey feeling, it not only gets my fingers dirty, but I feel like it can leave a little bit of a streak if I just use my fingers. So definitely try to go in with more of like a foundation brush, and the lasting power, the complexion, the finish is absolutely perfect. I don't know why more people don't talk about this one. Maybe people have, I just missed it, but this is definitely something that I keep reaching for all summer long and will continue to do so in the fall and winter. All right, we have another affordable one. This is also in the $10 range from Burrito. This BB cream is something that I discovered on Amazon, and this has the skincare benefits. I love the ingredients in it and gives you a really high coverage finish once again, but this is an elevated, or not elevated, but this is more high coverage than the Arborian, but similar feeling, similar texture, kind of blurs out your imperfections. But this one, I'm going to put it in the not for everyone category because even for myself, it's not something I keep reaching out for. But if I do want something that will instantly like kind of mattify my skin but give a subtle glow, camera ready, this is something that I'm going to go for. And this is also something that I really want to recommend to a lot of students out there who are looking for something more affordable. When I have to compare the more affordable BB creams, the Misha and the Burrito, I will say the Burrito is better for people who have more oily skin. The lasting power is a lot better with this one. The coverage is once again a lot higher with this one. This one is more of like an everyday one. You're going grocery shopping, you want a nice little tint that's very subtle. This one is the option that I'm going to recommend. But either way, like I just have to give this one credit because it's pretty high coverage, but still gives you a very natural, healthy looking glow. Definitely best when you want to take a nice selfie, camera ready, passport picture, school photo, etc. All right, this next one are the CC creams from by Tarte. A little bit more pricey than the other ones, but I did want to mention this because this is very unique out of all the ones. This isn't necessarily for like the coverage aspect, but something that does have the skincare ingredients and makeup ingredients all truly together in one. And they have two different shades. This one is one of my favorites. I like to actually use this before going in with any kind of makeup. Think of this as like your brightening primer in a way with the skincare benefits. It does give you a little bit more of that glow factor when you apply this, and also brightens your skin. And if you want a little bit more of that bronze look, then I go in with like 1 to 2 drops of this one for a very healthy summer glow, something that I'm definitely going to want to continue into the fall. So I like just like either mixing these two or go in with this one, then with my skin tint or BB cream, I'll mix like the Dr. Jart one with low coverage with 2 droplets of this one, blend it all in, and it's going to give you a very natural, like just woke up like this, but bronze look. So definitely something that I do want to highlight. This one from Tarte. Okay, this one I'm going to put this as under the you see this all the time, but not really anymore. I think when this first came out, I was very excited. This was one of the first like truly American brands that are carrying Sephora that launched a BB cream in my own experience. So very excited for that. It did live up to my expectations of what a BB cream is. So the pros of this one is I love how it applies. It's got a very sheer coverage. It doesn't oxidize on my skin all day long. But the con is that once again, if you overdo it, it can definitely look a lot more cakey, because with the coverage, if you want to build it up, I want a BB cream that I can build up without looking cakey. And a lot of the ones I discussed earlier, you can definitely build it up without getting that overdone kind of look. This one, you definitely feel like it's going to like kind of dry up and cake up throughout the day. And also the overall finish is a little bit too shiny for my liking. Shiny, not glowy, you know, there's a difference clearly there. So I need to always go in with powder after doing this. And I don't know, I just feel like the wear power isn't as great with this one. So, you know, like 5 years ago when this first came out, I really liked it, but right now it's not something I keep reaching my hands for. There's a lot more other options I discussed that I just keep reaching out for. All right, last one is a newer product that launched this year. It's once again from Borean. This is a CC water cream, completely new concept, and I was very intrigued by it because it does have a clear texture once you first apply it, and it's supposed to color correct to your skin tone. This one, unfortunately, was not something that I saw a big difference with at all. It kind of did like nothing for my skin. It almost just felt like a moisturizer, but I'm like, it's a moisturizer, it's supposed to kind of color correct. I'll just use a tinted SPF or something, right? Tinted moisturizer. This just, like, the color is not there. Even if it had a little bit more color, I would have liked it, but truly, I didn't really see any of that. And I think maybe I just had such high expectations after the BB cream from Arborian that this one didn't do anything for me. So I'm just gonna put this in the avoid category, but if you guys tried and have different opinions about this, let me know. I just feel like this is more of an elevated moisturizer that didn't really do too much for my skin. So I didn't want to end the video on like a bad note or anything. I like love testing BB cream, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was fun. So once again, if you enjoyed this kind of like ranking system video of all the categories that I own, please let me know. I would love to do more of this. This is a lot of fun, guys. So with that, please make sure to subscribe to my channel at glowwithava here below, and also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at glowwithava. Thank you so much. Bye bye.